Hello, everyone. That's me. Hello. Hello. So this is a request. It was a donation from Mohamed. The video is not a request. The channel is. Towards Eternity. I've never done it before. But when I was scrolling through, this video just jumped out at me. 7 toxic personalities. Stay away for your mental health. We've all encountered some. I'm sure some more than others. I have. Be very rude and sarcastic to people. And then when you're just like, okay, I'm going to give it back to you now and you're not going to like it. Then they're suddenly, where's that coming from? Did you just hear yourself for the last 5 minutes? Do us all a favor and just jump off a cliff. You won't be missed. Oh, I meant it. Oh, I'm getting angry. Had quite a few of those in my life. It's amazing how people can be so unaware of themselves or just not care. Mohamed? I'm getting angry now. Okay, so let me raise this up a little bit. There you go. This was a request. It was from a donation, so if you would like to donate to the channel, that's great. If you do, throw me some requests and they move right to the top of the list. If not, I still take requests. It just does take me a little bit longer. I've got 80 plus, so it's difficult to get to them all, and I'm sure I've forgotten some. If I say I added to the list, I do my best to do that, but I don't always get to do it daily. So if you've thrown out some and I haven't done it, I apologize. Throw it out again, and just say, hey, this is the second time I'm letting you know, stupid. And I'll be like, oh, okay. You don't have to say stupid, but you know, it is requested on my part. So let's go ahead and get into this and find out these 7 toxic personalities.
A person is the average of the 5 people he spends the most time with. When I said this, our friends started to come to our minds, right? Everyone around us affects us positively or negatively. That's why our elders often say things like, choose your friend well. And so today,
Growing up, I heard you are the company you keep. So if you're around a bunch of people who are good, and if you're around a bunch of people who are gonna convince you to go break the law and do stuff, then that's who you are. That's who I was when I was younger. I wasn't a good kid. But after a while, you just kind of, you shed those people like snakeskin. And you're just like, you know, all you ever want to do is this, this, and this. And that is illegal, illegal, illegal. And I'm tired of getting grounded. I'm tired of getting yelled at. It's not fun. Like, it's fun at first, but then we get in trouble. We get caught. Inevitably, we're gonna get grounded. And like you never. When I was a kid, I was 8 years old, and I was with another kid. His name was Byron, and we went and saw a movie. It was actually, we went and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in 1989. So maybe I was 9 or 88, whatever it was. And oh, I got a sneeze coming up. And sneeze. Okay, so that happened. So we went to the movie, and then he stayed the night, and the next day we were running around having fun, playing. And there was this new subdivision. It was called Heather's. And we just rode our bikes through there. And he was like, hey, let's just go wandering through this new construction home. Not a whole lot going on, but it was very new. So we just start walking through, and we found a dead dog. Turned out it was my neighbor's. don't have much good to say about them. But we found this dog, and then we're standing next to the house, and they had put up the insulation board. I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, it's just insulation. And he just starts kicking it. And I'm just standing there, and I'm watching him kick it, and I'm just laughing. Just like, haha. So we go walking away, like taking our bikes. And this area was kind of like almost a U-shaped subdivision. You drove in here, and then it looped around, and it stopped. And we came walking out, getting our bikes, and this guy came out, started yelling at us. We jumped on our bikes and we pedaled away. And several hours later, cops are out stopping kids, and we're at my house. And he comes walking out of my house to talk to some kids. And he asks them, like, what's going on? And the cop shows up, and the cop's like, do you know anything about that? And he's like, no. The cop's like, all right. He leaves. He then turns around, and he's telling the other kids what me and him had just did. Now, I was there, but I didn't do anything. But it didn't matter. I was there, and I didn't try to stop him. So he goes back in the house, and the kids go and tell the cops. Cops show up. We had to pay like a $500 fine for this, and then something else. And I was honest. I was like, I didn't do anything. I was there. But, I figured once I wasn't going to say anything, because to me it didn't mean anything. I didn't realize we could get in trouble for that, let alone I could get in trouble for being there and not doing anything. Like I said, I was 8 or 9 years old. But I had no care about telling on him, because I had been told he told a bunch of kids out on the street, and they went and told the police. And as far as I was concerned, he was including me in something that he did, even though I was there. But he was snitching on me, so I snitched on him. I was like, I was there. I witnessed it. Yes, I did. It didn't do any damage itself. I didn't kick anything. Didn't punch anything. I had nothing to do with it. I just stood there. And but yeah, I was like, if you're gonna go out, you invited the problem, so you're not gonna bring me down. We're no longer friends. Clearly, we stopped communicating very quickly after that. And he tried to hang out and get in touch with me again. It was like, no, that's all right, man. Back to the video, sorry.
We will look at 7 types of people that many people say should be avoided based on their experiences. You are talking about a topic with someone. You tell your opinions, and then the other person throws all you said in the trash, and they put themselves forward by saying, it's not like that, but like this. And they do this several times in a row. If arrogant behaviors were always that obvious, you wouldn't want to be close to those people anyway. Sometimes this person might be a close friend of yours, and you might not notice their arrogance because of your friendship. And even without you realizing, they begin to infect you with this habit, encouraging you to be like them too. Everyone except them is an extra. They think of themselves as the center of the world. They constantly connect the topic to themselves and talk about themselves. Supposedly, they are the best of everything. Most people other than them are wrong. They don't accept their shortcomings, their flaws. They want to be praised constantly, whether what they do is worth appreciating or not. Arrogance. It's in fact the first sin in Islam. It is what makes the devil the devil. We will look at ourselves first. Do I have this? Then we will stay away from the person who has adopted this character so that they do not infect us without realizing it. Humility, which is the exact opposite of arrogance, is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ and the most beautiful of morals. This phrase sums up the issue very well. The higher a person sees themselves, the lower they actually are.
Yes.
those who think of themselves as experts even though they don't have the required knowledge. There are two words in Islamic terminology, takalluf and jehli murakkab. Takalluf means this: far-fetched behaviors, trying to look like someone you're not, getting into topics that they won't be able to handle and wasting other people's time for nothing, trying to make it seem.
People around me will ask me questions about historical figures, and I answer the best I can. And I'm like, but I don't exactly remember this, I don't know this, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, yeah, but you're the scholar. I'm like, I'm not a scholar. I didn't go to college for that. That's all. That interest was just on my own, just because I went to a place and it sparked something. I'm not a scholar at all. Never claimed to be. I'm just somebody who finds it very interesting and loves to talk about it, because I love to hear things that I don't know regarding, like, Washington. I love hearing little tidbits. I love it.
Like they know the answer to a question even though they actually don't. Attitudes and behaviors like these. People like this usually have something to say to every word they hear. They can blindly, aimlessly defend something without understanding it. They don't listen to reason, and they don't respect other people's opinions. If they call white black, you cannot change their mind. They never admit that they don't know something, which is actually the definition of jehli murakkab. In other words, they both don't know and they're not aware of the fact that they don't know, which makes them think that it's the other person who doesn't know.
I've had a discussion about something with someone, and they threw out the regular, not target. What am I trying to say? They threw out the talking points. Just the usual, I'm gonna throw this out there, and that is kind of like the blanket. And whatever you're gonna say, this is the talking point. There's no countering that. And so what I do is, I'll just ask about that talking point. How did you come up with this? Where did you get this from? What are you basing it off of? Here, I have some information. Let's counter each other. And you find out pretty quickly that outside of the talking point, they've got nothing. And the most common thing that they'll do is they immediately turn to attack mode. They'll do two things. One is they counter what you've just said by attacking you. Oh, so you think that, and it's like, nope, didn't say that at all. Oh, so what you're saying is, nope, didn't say that at all. They turn to attack because they're trying to put you on your heels to say, whoa, that's not what I meant. And then they figure that way they can win the argument. Don't let them win that argument. When they get verbally, not assaulting you, but when they get to that, oh yeah, well you think, just know, you've won. You have basically, you have started to win because they have nothing they can do to counter. So they're getting mad. That's natural frustration for not having an answer or a logical response to a basic question. It's to get mad and angry. You've won. You don't have to get angry. Just sit. This is what I like to do. Once they start doing that, I just go. It's a jerk thing that I do, but they know and I know. The other response is, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this from you. This is what you do. We're not having this discussion. And they want to ignore you because they don't have an answer. They just spew garbage, and they are in this echo chamber of other people spewing garbage that's nonsense, and it just bing, 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 and they're all like, yep, that's right. Oh, absolutely. Yep, you're, But then they get out into the real world, and they realize they're not in their echo chamber anymore. Now they're in, with me, I'll hear stuff over here and stuff over here. And I'll say, yeah, but what about with this, you have this problem, and then with over here, you have this problem. Just try to be fair for both sides. I try. I'm not always. And when they immediately go that route, I turn on the the jerk mode, where I'm like, you don't want to talk because you don't have an answer, or you don't want to talk because everything that you've ever learned is a lie and you just found out, and you don't want to have this discussion because I'm not going to fire worthless comments back to you to prop you up, to make you feel important again, because you've realized your whole argument was, it's a deck of cards, it was a house of cards, and all I did was went, and the whole thing crumbled. And if your whole argument crumbles that easily, and you turn to, you know what, we're not doing this, I'm not going to have this debate with you, like they're suddenly intellectually better than you, just know that all you've done is you blew down their whole house of cards, and now you're chopping at their knees, and they don't want to have this discussion because they don't want that truth, whatever the topic is. I apologize, but I've dealt with a lot of garbage people, so I'm gonna be commenting a lot. Self-centered and arrogant people, that's me, but it's okay. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. Oh, nope. I muted it. What are you doing? Okay, now we're gonna do the video. Don't you mute. Okay.
Let me ask a little bit classic but famous question. Is this glass half full or half empty? As the simplest example, pessimistic, negative people are the people who say half empty. By the way, you didn't say half empty, right? When you buy something new, pessimistic people say that it's very bad, that you made the wrong decision. When you make a plan, they say, no, you cannot do that. Let's say you're going to start a new business. They'll say such discouraging things that you start to doubt your decision and you regret telling them about it. They evaluate everything by predicting the worst possible outcomes.
Yes.
Even worse, mostly because of their pessimistic state, bad things really happen to them. No matter how many solutions you offer, all those solutions will have a problem. They instill fear and anxiety in every environment. Our Prophet ﷺ says, whoever believes in Allah and the Judgment Day should either speak good or keep silent. These people always suck all your energy by looking at the bad side of everything and not speaking good.
As a former boss, everything was negative. And they were looking for affirmation. If they were negative, you get on the job and everything could be working out. And then one thing happens that is not related to what they were thinking. Oh, this job's going to be terrible. The tear up carpet is going to be glued down. It's fresh glue. It's going to be hard to tear up. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do that. And then none of that happens. But then their carpet trimmer breaks, or the blade breaks, and now they got to go out and get another blade from a toolbox because they didn't have any in their toolbox. They'd have to go get some from the van. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And it's like, no, that's not what you were talking about. But now you're curving. You've just moved the goalpost, as we say, but you're now curving the argument to make yourself right, so that you can continue to have this personality, and it's just a dark cloud, and it's like people don't want to be around that person. I'm sorry for pausing a lot.
Will pull you into this dark pit that they themselves are in.
Yep.
If you want to do good things, don't let them ruin your life.
Those people will say something, I listen to it, I disagree with it in here, and then I kick it out and know that all they're trying to do is bring me down, because then that elevates their happiness. And if you just I like to do this. I'll just shoot them a look, and the look is this. And then sometimes people will say, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm just listening to garbage. And apparently it's supposed to stick, but it's not. And I just move on. You just shake it off, because that's all they have. That's their happiness.
There's a saying that goes, gossip is the entertainment of simple-spirited people. By doing this, they show that they have no respect for the lives of others, and by dragging you into it, they show that they have no respect for you as well. Spending time with them can cause you to feel hatred and hostility unnecessarily. As this habit continues, it becomes almost an addiction, and they end up not being able to keep anything to themselves.
I dealt with a girl in high school. I went to a different high school. It's a small town. She was spreading rumors about me all the time. I knew it was her, and I was like, wow, it's amazing. No lie, she hated me so much. She said that I had squeezed this one guy. His name was Bill. He's a big guy, overweight. She said that I went to a party and I squeezed his butt, and he got mad at me. So I went home and committed suicide. And I was at school on this Monday, and so I hear this, and so I go over to the guy Bill, and I go, so I try to grab your butt at a party? And he goes, yeah, I didn't even know there was a party. I go, yeah, I went home and killed myself after all that. Can you believe that? And he's like, well, you look fantastic, man. I'm like, thanks, bud. And then I slapped his butt, and we both laughed because that's who I am. And this girl used to spread all these lies about it. It was a new, sometimes several in a day. It was guaranteed one every week. She approached me several times. She was like, hi. Her name was Amanda, by the way. I'm not going to say the last name because she was married. Ooh, I'm not going to say that because that's terrible. But, caught myself. But my ultimate get back to her, unbeknownst to her, was she might have had some homework turned in, because we would pass it from the back. Boom, boom, boom. Might have had some homework as she passed up my row, because I made sure I sat in her row. Might have accidentally taken her paperwork, put down the paperwork, grabbed my stuff, put it on top, pulled her paperwork out, put it on my desk, handed the paperwork forward, and then and thrown away. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. We don't know, do we? Maybe the teacher wasn't at his desk. Mr. G, talking to you, Mr. Gallagher, you happen to have been gone, and her paperwork was up on top. And it might have accidentally been picked up by someone, torn up, and then put into the trash bin. Not his trash bin, the hallway trash bin. She might have had quite a few of these things happen to her. I don't know. I do know.
They even start backbiting people they don't even know. Although sometimes to clear...
I was one of them. She didn't even know my name. She had never said, hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm a worthless piece of shit. She never even said that. Never even got an introduction. She just didn't like me because I came from a big city and I went to a small town.
Their conscience, they say that they are telling the truth, but that's the very definition of gossip anyway. Telling a fact, something true about someone, to someone else without their consent. If they say something that's not true, that is called slander, which is something totally different. They easily commit this sin, which is defined in the Quran as something as ugly as eating the flesh of your dead brother. And don't worry, if they are gossiping about someone else in front of you, they will probably gossip about you with someone else too.
Yes.
It's very strange that a person is constantly interested in the lives of other people when there are so many things to explore both outside and inside of themselves. Solution.
One of the things why I was targeted was because my family bought a home it's a big home. It was a nice big home. 5 bedrooms, two stories. But there were 5 of us. 2 older sisters, me, mom and dad, 2 dogs. And that home in the big city, in Peoria, population 100 to 120,000. That home would have probably went for like 150 to 180,000. It went for 65 in a small town, because the small town The neighborhood at the time didn't look the best as opposed to other neighborhoods in the small town. So they got to steal. They loved it. So here I am as an outsider buying this nice home, which clearly now that means that you have to be a target to people who don't know you. And I never said anything negative to her. She had a friend named Tracy, and she doesn't know, but I used to get all the goods from Tracy. Tracy would tell me all the things, and Tracy would defend me. And I may or may not have used that to my advantage to keep a friendship with Tracy. And then to feed Tracy kind of little... Isn't it weird that she doesn't know me, but she says those things about me? Must be a kind of a weak-minded person, I guess. But I mean, she's your friend, so I'm not trying to insult her, you know. But I personally, I wouldn't trust someone like that in my life. That's me. And you would see this at first kind of like, and then after a while it was kind of like, they're no longer friends, by the way.
Simply express your dislike about this behavior and that you don't find it right, and offer to change the topic. After some time, they will understand that they cannot do it with you.
Yes.
The complaining type finds something to complain about everywhere you go, in every situation. They may complain about the heat in summer, the cold in winter, the wind blowing in spring, and the leaves making a mess in fall. When you go to a restaurant, they talk about everything that's wrong with the food. They can talk about how complicated the city is, about the state of their house. They can always find a topic to complain about. It's almost impossible to satisfy such people. They are never content. They don't know how to be grateful. When the purpose of our life is already a test, frankly speaking, it is pointless and useless to complain about everything that happens to us. If you spend too much time with them, you'll probably experience the following. Your life is normally good and you don't have any major problems. But all of a sudden, you look at your life and say, yeah, that's right. Why is this like that? Why is that so? And starting to complain about your life constantly. This quote from Tolstoy analyzes the issue very well. The life you're complaining about is perhaps someone else's dream. Some people have small loaves of bread.
That's good. The life you complain about is someone else's dream. Wow, that's good. Wow.
Some have small diamonds.
All right, I'm lazy, but I work
First,
a lot.
they think that they need to do something. Then the required effort comes to their mind. And finally, they decide that the work is not that necessary. If they need to cook, they try to fight hunger. They always postpone things. They constantly request the things they are lazy about from others. They have their own understanding of cleanliness and order. You want to go somewhere and they won't go. You make a plan and they won't follow it. You ask for something and they will make you beg for it. Although they seem harmless, they lower the average diligence of the environment they are in. Even our Prophet ﷺ,
I know two people right off the top of my head.
took refuge in Allah from this habit. The ayah, when you finish one job, start another, also commands us to be hardworking. In Islam, working is seen as an act of worship. Put a certain distance between you and the lazy people, so that this characteristic does not reflect on you either. Don't waste your priceless time with laziness. While listening, a question may have come to your mind like, well, the person you're talking about is someone from my family or a relative, so there's no possibility for me to break off my relationship with them. Even if this didn't happen to you, you might have said, yeah, what are those people going to do? I would like to give you an example mentioned in the Risale-i Nur tafsirs exactly related to this topic. When the ayah, the believers indeed are brothers, is explained, this example is given. For example, imagine a ship and that there are one criminal and 9 innocent people on board. If we sink this ship because of that one criminal, we will be persecuting 9 innocent people. Even if there are 9 criminals and only 1 innocent person, we still cannot sink that ship because of that one innocent person. just like in this example, yes, that relative of ours may have bad habits, but along with them, they also have good traits. And in fact, they have more good traits than bad traits. So we need to take these good qualities into account and show tolerance to the bad ones. In fact, because the devil has deceived them, we should try to find ways to help them fix their bad traits by feeling compassion for them. This actually applies not only to people in our family, but also to people outside. If they have more good qualities compared to bad ones, if we have commonalities between us, like the fact that our religion, our prophet, and our Lord are one and the same, or that the region we live in, our nation, or our society is the same, aren't these things common aspects that always connect us to each other? If I see these bad qualities in someone, if possible, I should try and fix the problem instead of walking away. And if I'm left with no other choice but to distance myself, I need to do it by feeling compassion for them, not by speaking ill of them. Yeah.
I don't even try to change them. I distance myself immediately. It's like a vibe you feel, or like it's like an odor. And you're around it, and you're like, I don't even want to be near this person. Everything about them. Now look, I'm lazy. And I'm saying that as somebody who works 50 to 60 hours a week. And then on my Saturdays, I'm up to 15, 16 hours. That's occasionally, but 12, 14 hours I spend on Saturday making videos. My only day is Sunday. Now, when I come home from work Monday through Friday, whatever time that is, because I leave at 6, I'm up at 4:30, I leave at 6 a.m. I'm working at 6:30. I can be home. I could be home at 4:30, I could be home at 7. So, when I come home, I'm lazy. But I am working, so I figure that's a trade-off. That's acceptable. I hope.
Yes, there are many characteristics that can put people in the category of to be avoided. Finally, none of us are perfect. As we said, everyone has good qualities and bad qualities. But if we don't look at our flaws, but instead, every time we see a bad trait in someone, we directly condemn and label them, this can make us a flaw finder, meaning the first type of people to be avoided.
Wow. That's me then. Well, not always. I don't look for flaws, but when I find them, I'm just like, oh yeah? Okay, well, you just go ahead and I'll be over here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get right on out of the way here. You eyeballing that? That's my astronaut mug. It shows, the cup shows all the places they landed. And on the inside there's a picture of like Neil Armstrong's boot print on the moon. Just joking, we clearly didn't go. I'm joking, we did. Okay, this was good. I'm going to do another one of these videos from this channel. 7 talks to Kris I stay away from. Yeah, this really triggered me. This brought a lot out of me. All right. Well, there's a thanks button, should be, on the channel. It's underneath the screen, underneath the picture. See if they have one. Yeah. They have one. It's right there. That's what it looks like. It's got a little heart. You can donate if you want. No. Okay. I thought it went to the... Didn't like it. You can donate if you'd like. If you do make a donation, throw me some requests. They go right to the top. I'll do those. If you don't want to donate, don't have any money, or just don't like me, don't worry about it. Certainly not begging, but anything is appreciated. Like and subscribe is completely free. It helps me out. If you don't want to help out in the donations, like and subscribe, because that helps me out in the algorithm, and that helps me grow my channel. And outside of that, have a good day, have a good night.